1.
Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. Coming at you a little bit later than normal. It's almost like a normal time for everybody but me because I'm on the East, the one true time zone. The rest of these idiots are in like Midwest. Apparently, that's a thing.
West is, but he's also nocturnal, so it doesn't really matter what time it is.
And Mountain, it's Lance that's in the Midwest,
the Central,
which is
the Central.
Whatever. Nobody. See, I don't even know the name of the time zone. It's not a real thing. Mountain. I know that Mountain is a time zone, which makes sense because when the sun's going down, it hits the mountains at a certain angle, and you guys can't see the sun anymore. So
I think Mountain. Since I've been out there a few times, Mountain is like it's almost like
the best.
I think it's about
perfect. Saying that for years.
I think it's perfect, man. Not West is just football
it's
Sundays.
Too early.
Yeah, football Sundays is fucked with West Coast time. But I think Mountain time's it's the sweet spot. It's pretty good.
Well, it's nice when a UFC is over before midnight.
Yeah, I can deal with football starting at 11 a.m. on Sundays if the card is over by like 11 midnight the night before.
Yep,
that's fair. I guess for like the finals of everything, you guys kind of get the perfect timing too, right? Because all these NHL and NBA finals games are starting at 9:00, so it's 7 your time, which is. That's prime sports time.
Well, the hockey games have been at
they've been doing it at
8.
At 8 Eastern.
Yeah, which is still good. 6:00.
They were doing some of the finals, the NBA finals games, I believe, like 8:30 too, weren't they?
I thought they were all at 9 this time around.
They might have been. Maybe I'm thinking like
about it.
Yeah, the pregame and shit probably started at like 8:30 and they talked for 45 minutes. That's just dumb, man. There is no reason to have a sporting event ending on the East Coast at almost 1 a.m. Like if you want
so dumb.
You want younger people and even teenagers and stuff to watch your game and shit. They can't be up like school and work and all. Like you can't stay up till fucking 1 a.m. watching a basketball game.
And yet we all do anyway.
Yep. I do, but I mean,
because we fight through that shit.
I sleep for like 5 hours honestly, anyway. Like
now that I work from home, I can stay up till 1:30.
Yeah.
I wake up at like 7:30, 8. You still get your 6-7 hours sleep, depending on if I have any meetings booked early in the morning. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Working from home, lifesaver.
I mean, if you don't want to worry about taking the shower in the morning, do it after work. You don't have to. You can sit there in your drawers. You ain't got to worry about.
I do it on
shower,
lunch
no
bunch,
commute.
Actually,
yeah.
The lunch shower, because
there you go.
Timing works out perfectly.
The lunch shower. Are you like Kramer? Did you get a garbage disposal?
They get eat and shower at the same time. Yeah. Fuck, that's a great episode.
Yeah, it is. He fucking calls Putty over there, fucking tracking it, fucking disposal in his shower. That's good shit. Seinfeld's great.
As you can tell, we're in a good mood this week. We won a consensus bet last week. We didn't lose a Munich bet last week, which is rare anyway. So that's pretty normal.
I needed that consensus bet. I had a big one in on that one.
Yep.
Had a pretty good one.
I saw somebody. There's these MMA gambling accounts that pop up on Twitter, and there was somebody complaining about people who bet Wells but didn't bet Wells inside the distance or KO, because this person was so bad at breaking down fights in the first place that they thought the only way that he could win was knocking him out early, which I think we refuted pretty well on the last podcast. But I was like, so wait, step one is you broke the fight down wrong in the first place. Step 2 is that you then bet it wrong, and then other people bet it right, but you're mad because they didn't bet it right enough.
Also, keep fading that dude. He's pretty damn good.
It sucks he's so old. It sucks he's so old.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on him having no cardio. I mean, we talked about it. He's gonna prove some people wrong, I think. Unfortunately, he's 35.
He's
I know,
already proved a bunch of us wrong. So.
I know it was court too, but god damn, we said it on the show. That man throws death fucking hammers. Like he fucking bangs, dude. And he put court fucking that dude was in a fucking OD coma, bro. Like it was bad. Somebody
at least it was
like,
a place he knew he could come back from. You know, that's what's important.
Somebody tweeted me, it was like, oh man, that dude just put fucking court back on the fucking stuff. I was like, oh, maybe just a little bit too soon, bro.
So I'm scrolling through Warley Alves's record right now, and I'm trying to think of anybody else that has actually beaten him in the first round. Like anybody that's won the first round against him. And I don't think that anyone other than Wells has.
Yeah, I mean, Warley usually is the dude you got to worry about surviving.
He's the hammer. He's the hammer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he got hammered in that fight.
He absolutely did.
I don't... it's crazy after watching that how he was still so underrated. Then even his second time around, I know it wasn't Warley, but man, ain't you seen enough to know he's gonna fuck Court up?
Yeah, that was a fun one. It's nice when consensus and big bets go that well.
Yes, because I think we were
the no sweat.
We were all multiple units, whatever the hell that means to you on that one. But that was fun. The whole card was fun, if we're being honest.
The card was ridiculous.
Yeah, it had the most KOs ever on it.
Yep. This was great because I didn't watch a bunch of the early prelims. So I was just watching the main card, and I could go back and watch the prelim. Oh, fight's over in a minute and 30 seconds. Fast forward. Fight's over in a minute 30 seconds. Oh, there's another main card fight on. These are perfect. They're the way they used to do like the Facebook prelims, where they would just
rip them,
fit them in between something.
Love it.
But UFC, I don't know what card it was. UFC Austin, tremendous card. Probably, maybe best card of the year. I know people are saying like best card of the year because of all the finishes, but I don't know. There's been some Dubronx cards that have been pretty awesome. Because whenever that dude fights, I mean, it was, 2 weeks ago we had the fight of the year.
It was.
Yeah, I just think that there was that many there was the obvious downer fights in, I don't know, you can guess which weight classes. But even everything else was unbelievable.
And even the chick fights weren't like regular old, just terrible chick fights. They were literally they were okay.
They weren't.
I didn't watch them actually.
Yeah, neither did I.
But we'll break down the whole thing real quick, starting from the bottom. Now we're here. Roman Dolidze melts the medium Dukakis. He annihilated him like the Bush '88 campaign. I'm telling you, this Georgian dude. They always say that Georgia's a swing state, and man, he swung that knee right up into his face. Boom, nailed it, Sean.
Right,
that was clean. Like you don't see many clean knees like that very often. Man, just Dukakis just got ran over. I did not see that coming. Did not think he would steamroll him like that. Dukakis has been fairly durable in his UFC run. So yeah, that's I guess Dolidze does have the capability of just running you over. If he doesn't, I think he's in trouble. Fade
yeah, I think that's what I take of it. Like I'm never been huge on the Dukakis. Like I think we thought he was going to be a little bit better. Maybe he still is. I still think though Doolittle is a fade. Like he's got this in him. Of course, I mean if he's going to land big, he's gonna come out there and try to throw and get guys out there. But man, when he can't, I think we water this plant a little bit.
He's got this in him, but he doesn't do it consistently enough to warrant the prices that he's going to get. Another guy that people thought was a fade plant, but we've been saying that the Hogs is pretty good when the chin is not an issue, and it's very much not an issue against Darren Wynn. This man is very talented, Wesley.
His game is insane. You're always just, of course, you're going to worry about his chin. Like, he took blast from winning this, but still you're taking hits from a fucking horse jockey. Like, we don't know. He did take some good shots, man. There was a times, I think in the second or third, where Wynn like clocked him a couple times, and I was wincing, was like, oh man, don't let this happen. But as far as skills go, man, like, this dude is incredible.
He's got it.
And then even in, like, this fight, it looked like he improved. It looked as good as ever, man. It was all flowing. And man, props to Wynn though, dude. Like, I make fun of the guy, and of course we'll say it again. There's no way this dude should be fighting at 185 pounds. Like, if you've seen the difference between those two dudes inside the cage, it was like comically fucking it was just crazy, man. I don't know if Wynn can make 170. I guess if he cut out eating, but he just I did.
For how long?
Yeah, he seems like a dude that would try 170 and miss weight by 3 or 4 pounds. Just he can't.
5.
Yeah, he just can't get that low. Man, props to him though, dude, because he took a fucking beating that most dudes would have they'd have quit. They would have, and Wynn didn't. I'd have probably called it if I was his corner. Like, I'd have probably called it,
and he took it with like class and humor. I'm not sure if you've seen the breakdown video that he did, but that is excellent.
He went back and broke this fight down.
Yeah, you need to watch that.
We'll send it to you, Wes. It is
I haven't seen it.
You're gonna enjoy it. It's nice and quick and very, very funny.
I know. I do like that. I do like that. DC is just turning into the fucking old man screaming at the clouds and any little thing. Like, DC has become so much UFC shill, it should make you want to puke. Like, seriously, it really should.
Also, it's hilarious that DC acting like the guys that he like coaches and trains with. Yeah. I know he's not training for a fight, but that he's not like telling those guys, "Oh yeah, you should fight that guy. That's the guy for you."
What Halls was complaining about, you best believe is absolutely true. Like, you got to be an idiot to think DC is not talking to Wynn and giving him advice and strategy and everything. It's his boy. Like, they literally did train together. Like, what Halls was complaining about was absolutely true.
Yeah, he didn't go about it in the best way, but whatever.
Yeah.
How unfair is it when a guy has a reach advantage throwing just elbows against the other guy that's throwing punches? That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Some elbow work on this card. It was pretty good.
I feel like Phil Hoggs is he's a socialist after my own heart, because he was like, man, if I punch this guy, because I did it for the entire first round, he can't even reach me. This is not an equitable situation. So all I'm gonna do is make this fair, give everybody the tools they need to win the fight, and I'm just gonna throw elbows. I'm just gonna use half my arms, just so that this little T-Rex can maybe reach me. And he did a couple times.
Still had a reach advantage.
Yeah, he kind of got hit a bit too much by Duran Wynn. I don't know if he just was like, he felt the power and was like, he's got nothing, or if that's just him.
Anyway, we talked about that for a long time.
I hope the chin holds up. I hope the chin holds up, because he's spectacular.
He's excellent. Other than that, yeah, I mean, he's what the training room hype would have been if he had a chin and cardio. And I don't even think the cardio is a huge issue anymore. It's just mostly the chin. Yep. Anyway, next up, a guy whose chin is definitely the issue, but won't be anymore.
This is why Lance didn't show up. Oh.
I mean, Cody Stamann, I'm not sure if I was clear enough on the podcast last week, but Cody Stamann, anyone at TKO plus 270 against Eddie Wineland. Oof. Eddie's out of the game now, justifiably so. Sean, anything to take away from this?
Stamen doesn't have to get cut because he actually finished a guy, so that's a bonus. I didn't have any piece of this fight, and obviously really regret it because that's just
it was
auto
easy.
fade ITD.
It was easy.
Yeah.
Oh man, getting Stamen at like minus 125 or 130 inside the distance. Man, Lance saying that Wineland's gonna knock out Stamen. That was one of the funniest things I heard in a while that we've done on here. I will say about Wineland though that man, just OG dude, OG lighter weight guy who was one of the better lighter weight guys back 10 years ago. Yeah, back in the WC, yes. Man. Somebody tweeted out like some of his stats from the WC, and they're incredible. He's one of the best to ever do it in the lighter weights. Like knockout percentages and the guys he fought, pretty incredible. Eddie Wineland was a really, really good fighter, man. And I'm glad he retired now, but man, he probably should have done it a couple back because it is not.
Yeah,
good.
Probably.
Yeah.
Eddie Wineland, I'm not sure. There was a Chase BB fight that was tremendously entertaining, and I can't remember if it was the Wineland one or the Honey Yaya one for the bantamweight title in the WEC. But all that stuff's available on Fight Pass. You should go watch it because Eddie Wineland is not who you see in 2022. He is who you saw 15 years ago.
Watch all of WEC. Like all the newer fans are there, like, man, the lighter weight classes are where it's at. Those are where the best guys. Those are the best weight classes. We'll go back and watch the WC because that's where like all of that.
That's literally all it was.
Yep.
It was that and like Carlos Condit.
Yeah, Brian Stan.
Brian Stan, 185.
Yeah, there was like Carlos Condit at 170, Brian Stan at 185. Like that was it. Who was the 205? There was
no, Brian Stan was 2-0. Brian Stan and Steve Cantwell.
Steve Cantwell. That's who I was thinking of. Yep. Yeah, there were a couple mainstays at the upper weights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug the Rhino Marshall, obviously.
Well, I mean, that
the KDs maybe.
He's been around WC since they were fighting up in fucking Lemoore, Northern California, and there was more fucking Nazi swastikas and tattoos running around that you could imagine. Like I started going back like last year and watching the WCs over, and those early ones, man, it was biker gangs in the crowd, like cornermen and shit. Got fucking not the swastika.
Third Reich tag.
Third Reich. All over. I'm like, God damn, it's a Nazi gathering at the fucking early.
Yep.
Fucking our boy Rosenthal reffing like every fight. Selling dope.
Reffing every fight, selling weed after.
Selling the weed
during the breaks.
Yeah.
So Dougie will kill me for this if he ever listens to the show, but the ring girls, they used to walk around with this bar on their asses, the name of this bar on their asses. And this bar was infamous for like having 17 stabbing deaths or something because it was in
classy sponsor.
North Central California, just this hideous place to live. Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah, Northern California might as well be fucking Southern Kentucky. Like it's as redneck as you can imagine.
I don't know where we are, but there was a split decision. Maria Oliveira, Gloria DePaula. This is one of the ones that I did not watch because I saw that it took more than a minute. So skip right.
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. Like they stood through, which is all you can
hope for.
Yep,
that's what you can hope for.
I mean, low level. The algorithm hits again.
Plus 250.
Low level women's MMA plus 230.
Idiot.
Yep. Did he bet the other side?
No, I picked the other side. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, I'm talking about the
Intel Master.
algorithm. Did the algorithm take the fave here?
Oh, I don't know. I'm talking about my algorithm.
Yeah, the much
I
better algorithm.
I thought you was talking about the real one. The fucking NASA got fucking a whole room full of servers running the numbers.
Next up, featherweight.
He said he back tested 9 years. Like, get the fuck out.
And that's called having no life.
I'm blocked now. If you're not familiar, we're talking about Zed's MMA. Zed because he's Canadian or claims to be Canadian, and apparently he's a mathematical genius. Except the algorithm. It sucks.
It's pretty wild that he's been working on this for like 9 years and it just came out. This dude's like a fucking, he works at the docks or some shit. Now he's like a fucking puts together algorithms.
No. Wes, you got it wrong. He works at Dockers. He sells pants to dudes.
Ooh, nice.
You're gonna love the way you look, bro.
All right, featherweight division. Ricardo Ramos just destroys Danny Shav. He sent him into another dimension with that spinning elbow. I was out working because I'm rebuilding my deck right now. I was out working on the deck, and my wife screams from inside. She's like, "Holy shit!" So I run back inside. I see this man gets sent into like the astral plane, and wow. I know we should probably kind of expect this shit from Ramos now, but he's fun. Sean?
Still awesome when he keeps doing it. Just love the spinny shit. And just lands so fucking clean. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was sick. It was pretty awesome.
Wes?
Ramos is decent, man. He's decent. Still really young too.
I don't know if that was a get-right fight. I'm not sure why they were going against each other, because Ramos is obviously in a tier or two above. But we'll take the highlight reel.
Absolutely. And like he looked good in his last fight too. I bet against him against Aljeo. I thought Algeo's cardio would sort of pull through on that one, but his wrestling and cardio looked good there. So I think there's something there.
Yep.
We already talked about the bullfrog in court.
He was.
Another low-level women's MMA fight where the plus 200 or better dog. This one I picked against in Tout Master. I think the Canadian bias got to me.
Got
me
stupid.
Too. I needed all the points I could get, but I didn't watch it. I know that people think that Silva is hot and she looked good, and she's probably, she's at 125 and she won a fight, so she's probably a future title contender.
Oh, right? That's exactly what you saw on Twitter.
It never fails, bro. Like she hadn't fought in like 2 years and looked okay against a bum.
2.5. Yeah.
Chick looked like a robot out there. I swear to God, it was so bad. And now it's like she's like a couple away from a title shot. Like, dude, go back. Shut the fuck up. Jesus.
Main card, bantamweight division. The result that everyone was hoping.
Most satisfying thing.
Adrian Yanez, knockout of the year over Tony KK Kelly. Beautiful stuff.
He's still going racist. This dude's
can't punch the dumb out of people. This is what we learned. You can't punch the dumb out of somebody, no matter how hard you try, because Yanez was trying to as best as he could, and it still did not work.
Nope. Like this guy is like the next day, 2 days later, saying some racist
just trying to keep himself relevant. He
was saying that Yanez doesn't want to see him in a rematch. He said that too.
Intelligent person, a very intelligent person.
Not the brightest. His old lady ain't the brightest either. Like she's got a lot to say too. She should probably shut the fuck up. Like
so. poll question for the listeners here. Would we rather see the Kay Hansen video or the Andrea Lee video? Same video, but like, which one are we talking about here? Because both seem like terrible people, and both I don't find attractive. So, I mean, what's the answer?
Man,
What
there's
is
some
the
thirsty
answer?
motherfuckers on Twitter. Just
There is.
thirsty broke motherfuckers that won't even pay up.
It's funny how quick like Kay Hansen screenshots were popping out. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you got though,
That's-
because that's all she sent out. You ain't getting the fucking video, that's for sure.
What is it? What was it she's charging? What
$2 bills.
Two bills for a couple hours or something like that, or
200 Keltons?
200 cal. You're talking about a quarter cruise, dog. Like a quarter cruise.
Giannis has got some hands. That's I know.
He does.
Everybody kind of touts his hands. We didn't really know if they were that good. They're pretty fucking good.
He looked tremendous. Like fucking tremendous.
So, not to rain on the parade, but I'm probably gonna fade him at what absurd number we get him at next fight, because I still don't think he's great. He looks good in a matchup like this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna get a bum like Tony Kelly to stand up in front of you. He's gonna style on somebody like that every time. We'll see.
Yeah. One that I should have done better on this.
I feel horrible.
What are we doing here, boys?
I feel horrible too. I don't know what we're doing with this.
I didn't bet Marquez, but I also didn't bet on my dude Hobocop here, and Hobocop did horrible things to this man. His chances at ever getting Miley Cyrus, gone.
I mean, he got the Hobocop's fucking cock in that fight. Like he slung it to him.
That was destruction. Yeah, we're idiots. It should have been Hobo all day. Hobo inside all day. I mean, I know Marquez is tough, but
what did KO
Hobo's got some skills, man.
What did KO end up being?
It had to be good, because the sub price was all right, and the decision price was plus 300, because that's what I was looking at.
275. I thought it'd be bigger.
Okay,
but it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I kind of thought that Marquez was more durable, but I guess when you get hit by every punch, probably not
zero
not a
misses.
Strategy.
And when you get hit, you're not like, I'm gonna go back and recover. I'm just gonna start swinging bungalows with my chin in the air. Like that's what he did. Like he got cracked, he's stumbling everywhere, and just like fuck it. He went for it. Props to Marquez. Like he said, fuck it. I'm just gonna swing him, and whatever happens. Dead body.
I mean, most guys in the division don't have the power and the ability to put him out, and him swinging back is probably going to work. But Hobocop is not most guys.
He's fucking awesome, bro. Like that dude is all, and he's a fucking problem at 185. Like
he looks so much older than he is.
It's I swear he's a Cuban 30.
I know.
Swear.
That's the concern.
And it could be true. It could be. Who knows? He looked
Next
awesome,
up,
though.
lightweight, tremendous. My man. He looked like Hobocop 2, not even Hobocop 1. Lightweight division. I didn't know it was possible. I did not know it was possible. But Guram, the cute little legs, he got a good fight out of Demir. He got an exciting.
He pushed it out of him.
It was a great fight.
Yeah.
This was tremendous. I don't know that I agree with the decision. I don't know that I care. It was fun.
It was a close fight. I think you can give kind of either way. Yeah, Guaram is fucking good. Both these guys are really good. Like, I think these guys can beat some. Like, they're not ranked, and that was a pretty high level striking fight.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like there was so many knockouts and shit on the card, it kind of gets overshadowed, but I enjoyed this fight as much as any of them on the card. Like, as far as pure skill and the strike, it was a great fucking fight.
And we're swinging.
I mean, we're going to talk about a dude on the next card, for Saturday that his only loss is to Guram. Like, the guy, he's good, man. He's a good fighter, and I think he brought out the best of Ismagulov. I thought Ismagulov won, but it was really, really close. And like Brad said, like, both of these dudes are really good.
Part of the reason that the guy that Wes just alluded to is more than plus 200 right now is because people before this fight were saying, oh, he lost to that dude. And I think after this fight, it's a little bit more like, oh, he lost to that dude? In a fight that he probably should have won?
Should have won, yep.
So I think opinions should be changing, but we'll see. Next up, another tremendous fight. 185, the fraud Russian. This is another. I blew this one. I should have been all over Buckley. I had a little bit on TKO, which luckily got there. But Duraev, fraud, smells like shit. Smells like durian.
Yes.
This was so much fun to watch. Wes?
Yeah, I mean, being able to spot the just complete fraud Russians is like, it's almost a skill at this point, because if you can spot them, and they're really good now. Like, there's a lot of really good ones. If you can find the frauds, those frauds are going to be priced like the really good ones for a little bit, and you're going to hit some big price. And I mean, I don't think Buckley's like great, but he'd been in there, man. Like, he'd been in there with some good dudes.
You motherfuckers bet the Beverly Hills Ninja against Buckley. That's what you think of Buckley.
Pretty much. And I still don't think he's like great, man. Like, he showed spots in this fight to where,
No, he's not. He's not.
But man, like, almost 2-1 against this fucking guy. I just played inside the distance because it was like plus 320. KO was just a little bit more, so I just played inside the distance, but KO was the spot, man. They gotta cut this guy, right? Like, he's a total fucking fraud. Yeah.
One more time.
Give us more, because they'll bet him again, won't they? They'll see that Russian fucking flag and they'll bet him again. But Buckley's a fade though against a decent guy. Hopefully Buckley's like favored in his next fight because he had a performance like this.
Fun as shit though, right, Sean?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, I agree with Wes. I think the fade is coming, and hopefully we get a decent line.
Co-main event.
What's wrong about
guy that I thought is still kind of a fade, and like I'm not entirely convinced that he's not. I'm not sure I'm ever gonna be convinced. This is one of those guys for me.
One of those guys.
Kevin Holland looked great against him. Means smashed him on the feet, eventually hurt him, and wrapped up the choke on a sloppy shot by Means. But man, Kevin Holland still can't wrestle, and there are a lot of wrestlers at 170. Sean, when are we going to fade him next? Next fight or the one after that?
It just depends on who they give him, because I think at this point you're gonna have to be a plus wrestler, and there are a decent amount of plus wrestlers at that weight class. It depends on the matchup, because he is pretty fucking good on the feet. He looked fast. He's got some skills, but yeah, like you, I think there's some holes in the grappling, and just got to be the right guy.
Wesley?
Yeah, his like speed and athleticism and shit at 170 is It's incredible, man. Like, he looked great now. Didn't look great against like a fucking 50-year-old dude, pretty much. Like, Tim Means is like at the way back end. And like you said, like, he still can't stop a takedown. I'm gonna have to be proven otherwise. Any dude that can wrestle a little bit and get on top of him is gonna fuck him up. Will we get that soon? I hope so, because he's gonna be a huge price next time against whoever he fights. Hopefully it's somebody that can wrestle, because like Brad said, Holland's gonna be one of those guys for me. There's something about him. I'm just probably never gonna be sold on him.
Didn't he call out Brady after this fight?
Yeah, that's wild.
Brady would dump him on his head.
The problem is Brady's too good that we're not going to get a good number there.
Brady would dump that guy on his head and drop fucking hammers.
I don't know. I feel like we'd get pretty close to even money in that one.
No way.
Holland is hyped, man. He is hyped.
I hope you're right, but
He
there's
is
just
hyped.
I feel like Brady's like a minus 200.
They might open that, but Holland's going to take all kinds of money as a dog.
We can hope so.
Finally, main event, featherweight division. I mean, I didn't feel like this was a tremendous fight. It was kind of one of those like slow boil fights. It got better as it went, but it was, compared to the rest of the show, a little cool. Josh Emmett eventually takes the split decision over Kelvin Kattar? Question mark, Sean?
Yeah.
I bet Emmett. I did not see him winning this way most of the time. When I saw him winning, I figured he would have had to get him out of there. I was a little bit surprised. I thought Kattar would have a little bit just more volume, and I don't know if the power kind of scared him away from throwing too much. I don't know what, but I expected more volume from Kattar. But I scored it for Kattar. I watched this after the fact. I didn't watch it live, and I scored it for Kattar 2-4-5. I think it's the horrible part about this is he won because of the horrible scorecard. Chris Lee gave the fourth round, which is just indefensible. The fourth and fifth are Kattar's. Obvious Kattar's. I think 3 is fairly obvious Emmett, and then the other 2 are close rounds. So if you wanted to give it to Emmett, 1, 2, 3 is possible. With how close 1 and 2 were, it's not terrible. I just think with how close 1 and 2 were, going Emmett both times is somewhat rare. So I think you have to give one of those rounds to Kattar, and then 4 and 5, and he should have won. But I'll take the plus 200 or whatever, dog.
The thing is, the guy that won it for Emmett on the cards did that. He split the first 2 rounds.
Yep.
And then gave him literally the most obvious round of the fight to the wrong guy. And that's what we say here, is like, sure, the criteria aren't perfect, and there's all kinds of nuance and all that shit, but you can't fix something like that unless you just stop hiring that guy, which they should have done a decade ago.
Yeah,
it's Chris Lee again.
He's been doing it for like 15, 20 years, bro.
Yep.
There's no other way to fix it. Some people are just incompetent and very bad at their jobs, and he is one of them.
I think like when it's rounds like that, I don't even know if it's incompetence. Are they even paying attention? Like, what are they doing during that round? Like, are they looking in the crowd, checking their phone or something? Because that's just inexcusable, man. Like, he literally cost Kattar that fight straight up. His one scoring of a round that was the clearest round in the entire fight was the deciding factor in that fight. It's just atrocious, man. Like Sean said, Kattar did kind of put himself in that situation because he didn't throw nearly what he usually does. I mean, it did pick up in the 4th and the 5th, I guess, after he started, he felt the power a little bit. The power started to wane probably. I just, man, for him to lose that fight on the scoring of one round by one dude who's been not great for years now, it's just, it's horrible to see because that's the changes the trajectory of the top of a division. Like Emmett's claims.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is Emmett's old, so he's probably gonna fight once or twice more, and I don't think Kattar's stock really drops in this, and he's still somewhat young, and he gets one win, he's back in there.
That's a pretty like tough fight though for Kattar to have an L on his record for though. Like some miles on that body from that fight. He took some shots,
some bombs,
and still, like I said about Emmett though, I still don't believe that Emmett's got one punch knockout power like everybody thinks he does. Like he just doesn't have that. At least
he just has big power.
At least at the top of the division and shit. Kattar took it all very well. I don't think he was fucking rocked one time in that fight. But he did like the first few rounds. He didn't put out the output like Kattar usually does, and it probably cost him the fight. I hate to say it.
It shouldn't have, but it did.
It did. Yeah, it shouldn't have. Yeah. It cost him the fight as much as a bad round scored by one judge, but he put himself in that spot by just not outputting enough in the first few rounds.
Yep.
Them's the breaks when it comes to MMA. Moving on to this
I'd love
week.
to see Volk fucking like knock Emmett out, like beat the shit out of him and knock him out. That'd be fun.
No, that's me.
I
don't think that fight happens. I think Volk is, if he beats Max, I think
he's going up.
He's going up.
Yeah, he's going up. He's already talking double shit. He should. He should. There's nobody wants to see him
everybody.
Fight. Yeah, nobody wants to see him fight Emmett. Nobody gives a fuck about that fight.
I would love to see Volk go up because I saw what Ortega almost did to him. So to see what better Ortega in Dubronx would do to him would be tremendous.
Choke dead.
And every once in a while, you got to see one of these guys moving up in weight put in their place. Like Izzy and Jan.
They need to be humbled. Yeah, they need to be shown that there's weight.
While.
There is weight classes in this sport now for a reason. For a very good reason.
Yep.
Exactly. All right, we got a 12-fight card this week, a little bit lower than last week, and there's some of these that I'm sure we are going to fly through. UFC Fight Night 212. I think I saw 212 somewhere. It's a Vegas, 57.
You betcha. UFC Vegas.
Nice.
57. Nailed it.
Boom, nailed it. Kind of an awesome card. Starting out with not particularly awesome. Women's strawweight division. Yu Frey. Not that phrase song. This phrase song. Taking on Lil Stripper, Vanessa Demopoulos.
Bring out the
Sean, big breakdown on this one. Big breakdown.
Oh, huge breakdown. I'm just not going to get in my own way anymore. For a while in Toutmaster, I took your advice, and any low level, if you're not ranked, if you're outside the top 5, basically, you just take the dog. Just take the dog. And for some reason, I big-brained myself last week, and that cost me, 4.5 points, probably more than that.
Yep.
I don't care if this loses. I'm still picking the dog, and I have learned my lesson.
Wes.
Yeah, I mean, Fry should win, probably wins, but the algorithm is strong. It's been fucking back-tested for 72 years. Like, you take the fucking plus 250 dog here. I think we were talking about in one of our chats, her by sub is like plus 600 or something. If you want to bet this fight, take her by sub. She's going to get taken down and probably pounded on.
Bar from God.
Hope she grabs an armbar. And there's a very good possibility that happens, and it's plus 600.
Let's go.
Yeah. Right now, Yu Frey is a minus 260 favorite. She got armbarred by Kay Hansen.
What's she been?
What Kay Hansen?
Kay Hansen's on OnlyFans selling 22-second sex videos for $200.
Her shit over looking like Emmett's eye after that fight.
Low level women's MMA. You know what it is. You take the dog. In this case, you can probably specifically take the dog by submission at plus 600. inside the distance at other places at plus 550. I don't know what more we need to tell you in this one. But moving on to the bantamweight division, we've got Mario Bautista taking on Brian Boom 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 Kelleher. Sean?
I've stayed away from this fight so far. I might put Bautista in a small parlay. I just think Kelleher doesn't have the power or really the submission game to get Bautista out of there. And if he doesn't get him out of there, I just think the volume's going to be too much. I think Bautista can keep it on the feet and kind of box Kelleher up. So I like Bautista to get a win here, but yeah, if anything, it's going to be a small bet.
Wesley?
Yeah, this is it's a really close fight for me too. If this is like on the feet in a kickboxing match, I think you probably got to favor Bautista. Longer dude, he does throw a lot of volume, but man, Kelleher can get takedowns. Man, he's got some really good offensive wrestling. He works when he's on top. I think Bautista is really tough. I'm not sure Kelleher can catch a sub on him or something, but man, would I be shocked if Kelleher can get a couple rounds here by being on top? Absolutely not. I haven't bet it, but if I do it, it's probably Kelleher or pass. I was looking at the over a little bit too. I think this probably sees some rounds. I don't think this is one where Kelleher catches somebody and gets him out of there. And Kelleher's really, really tough. It's hard to finish that dude. So I'm not sure Bautista's got that in him either. So I kind of like the over. I know Kelleher by decision is a pretty big price, around 4-1 or something like that. So I think it's probably going to go to a decision. So if you like one of these guys, you might want to look at them by decision, in my opinion.
Wes stealing my thunder. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. Let's spend 15 minutes together taking this Mexican down together. Boom, boom. That's what I want to see. He's going to wrestle this dude. Everyone that has tried to wrestle Mario Bautista has tackled him like an ICE agent at the border. Trying to get somebody crossing Trump's wall. You know they don't allow that. And that's what Boom Boom's going to do in this fight. I don't think the sub's there. I don't think he's going to knock him out or anything like that. There is a bit of a concern that Bautista lands something massive because that's kind of what he does. But if he doesn't land a flying knee or like a spinning elbow or some stupid shit like that, I think that he is the far inferior grappler here. I don't think that he's going to hit anything from his back against Kelleher. I think that he's just going to be there and trying to get up and get taken down again. We've seen Kelleher go to this grappling heavy approach in his last couple fights. Whenever he feels like he's kind of in danger, he has no problem just wrestling the shit out of a guy. And I think that's what he does here. So I've got some Boom Boom plus 144. It seems like the line might get even better than that. And I do have plus 405 by decision in a round robin. So we'll see how that goes. But I feel like if Lance was here and didn't have the AIDS, thoughts and prayers to Lance, then this probably would have been Munich. But it's not, so it's going to win it anyway. Moving on, flyweight division. This is like the mook fest of the night. We've got Bro Hugs boy, Cody Durden, hates Asian people. But this time he's not taking on an Asian person. He's taking on an African person in JP, South African Bays.
Who
kind of a white guy anyway.
Who looks like him. This dude's going to be so confused.
He's like, wait, this dude's from Africa? What?
Durden's going to be so fucking confused. He might get knocked out.
Sean, you've got a bet on this one, don't you?
What have I done with my life? I have money
Tell
on
me about
Cody
it.
fucking Durden.
Tell me about it.
Sounds like
Money on-
I'm passing on these fights that are. He takes Durden.
JP Buys is horrible. He's been knocked down 7 times in his 2 UFC fights.
So
That's got to be a record.
He's due to not get knocked down, right?
Is that how that works, Brad? Luckily, he's
so.
fighting Cody Durden, so I don't think he'll be in too much danger of continuing that knockdown streak. But I do think Durden can out-wrestle him and tire him out and win just being on top and throwing ground and pound and doing okay on the feet. Cody Durden, 1 unit plus 102.
Wes?
Yeah, there's no way I can pick a side in this fight. As far as a bet, this is a mook fest going on. Like Durden is like, you want to talk about low fight IQ? Holy shit, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Baez was just kind of hyped, and he's looked pretty shitty too, man. These are just 2 really shitty dudes. I think it could get a little dirt fest in there. I was looking at an under here or fight inside. It's both plus money. I can see Durden being on top and working Baez and maybe getting a second.
Or get caught.
Yeah, that's what or Baez catches Durden with something like. I got a feeling that somebody gets finished here. These dudes got finishes all over their records, not because they're great. It's because they're just in fucking mook fights and shit happens. I think some shit's gonna happen here. I'll probably, man. Am I really gonna pick fucking Cody Durden to win a fight though? I just think he's been a little less mooky than JP Baez at this point. So right now I'll pick Durden, but I'm probably gonna look at something like inside or under here. I think somebody's gonna get a finish here.
I'm trying to see if this fight is as mooky as I expected, because very few places have props on it right now. There's I think
they don't even want to make
online,
numbers for this shit.
Good old Dave Mason has enough of our bit. He doesn't even have props out. Tony from the grave. He's the only one with some props out on this fight. Nobody knows what to make of this shit. And I don't either. I'm gonna pick JP Buys because I always like to think, if the early finish doesn't happen, how is this fight gonna go? And I think if the early finish doesn't happen, then Cody Durden's gonna gas because he always gasses, and JP Buys is gonna maybe do things to win the fight. I don't know what those things are because he seems to be bad at everything. But I guess the slight favorite in a very low-level flyweight fight. Whoever loses this should absolutely get their pink slip. And we'll move on to the bantamweight division. Kind of bantamweight, kind of flyweight. We got one of these dudes that moves up and down. Raulian Paiva taking on Sergey Morozov. Now, I have it under good authority that Morozov is not a boring Russian. He's a boring Kazakh. So, Sean, does that change your opinion at all on this fight?
I mean, he had a fun last fight, but that's mostly because he was getting his ass kicked for a lot of it. I think that is the concerning thing. He took some fucking damage from Andrade. He looked good early in that fight, and then he got his ass whooped. I think he's gonna go to the wrestling in this fight, and Paiva's been taken down. He's shown okay takedown defense, but he definitely has been taken down. I think Morozov can probably get some top time and turn back into the boring Kazakhstan. And I think he wins a close decision. Paiva doesn't throw too much volume when it's on the feet, so it's going to be a close fight. I don't want any part of it. I'll pick Morozov.
Wesley.
Yeah, I think it's a close fight too. It's still hard to get over Paiva's last fight, him getting fucking absolutely obliterated by Sean O'Malley. But
that can happen.
All the shit we talk about Sean O'Malley, like the kid hits. He does.
Yep.
He's got some pop, man. It's like I said,
if you don't leg kick him, you could be in for a bad night.
Yeah. It's still like wasn't a great look. Like, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think Morozov is. He ain't been in there with anybody. The good fighters he's been in there with, he's gotten his ass kicked. I still think Paiva's he's probably the better fighter. He's gonna have to stop takedowns though. I think he might even get taken down a little bit in this fight, but he's got to make Morozov work. He's got to drag him a little deep, I think, if he is taken down and get him tired. And then maybe those takedowns, he can keep them up. He's definitely better on the feet. Paiva hits hard, much better striker. It's dog money, man. I'd like a little bit better price, but it's definitely dog or passer. I haven't bet Paiva yet, but I probably will. I'll probably take a small dog shot on Paiva here. I think he can keep this on the feet in a couple rounds at least, and definitely win a striking battle and get a decision here.
Yeah, I'm definitely out of touch with what the kids think these days because I already bet a little Paiva plus 120 in this one. I agree he might get taken down in a spot or two, but every time he's been taken down, he's made guys work to hold him down. He doesn't really get held down a whole lot. And I think he's a significantly more diverse striker than Morozov. We've actually seen Paiva in there against title contending level of competition, and he's looked good. I mean, he should have probably had a win against old Steve France, as some people call him, and he did get a win over Kyler Phillips. And honestly, Kyler Phillips is probably better than Sean O'Malley. He's probably better. What were you going to say there, Sean?
That should have been a draw at worst, but
fair.
Yeah.
But still, like, a draw against that dude is
he survived against
good.
he survived against Phillips and then was able to beat him in 2 rounds. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
So, like, I think that he's got the tools. I mean, Morozov's not putting him out. He's not going to beat the shit out of Paiva's not going to beat the shit out of Morozov for a round and a half, like Douglas Silva on drugs and then gas, because the old drugs run out. That's not going to happen in this one. I think it's going to be a competitive fight, but I do give a slight edge to Paiva. He's faced better competition. He's looked better against better competition, and I think that regardless of where this takes place, probably mostly on the feet, because I don't think Morozov holds him down. He's got an edge there. So I like Raulian Paiva to take a decision. Featherweight division. This is my outside of the dog walk fights of the night. My don't care fight of the night. TJ Brown takes on Shailian Nuerdanbieke. The old Nuerdanbieke. Sean?
You don't want to ride that one. Do not ride
that's a bad one. He's fought, the Nuerdanbieke's fought twice in the UFC, and I could definitely not pick him out of a lineup. That was very surprising.
Racist.
Yeah, fair enough. Didn't mean it that way, but we can take it that way. Yeah, I think this is going to be kind of a grappling, kind of scrambly fight. Should TJ Brown be that big of a favorite when his takedown defense isn't great and the guy he's fighting is an okay wrestler? I don't know. I think this could be a scrambly fight and it could be close, and I don't really want to lay the juice on a guy he's not amazing. So I might pick the old Nuerdanbieke in Toutmaster, looking for some dog points.
Wes?
Yeah, I don't think TJ Brown should be minus 200 here. Like, the Nuerdanbieke ain't great, but decision win over Sean Suriano was not bad. Decision lost to
Kulabau. In hindsight, is not bad.
It doesn't look as bad now. It really doesn't. So he's been in there with a couple decent dudes. He did lose to Brad's boy, you wrong, a couple years back.
That's a tough one. That's a tough look.
But I mean, he's looked decent in his first 2 UFC fights. I mean, I do think that TJ Brown's probably a little bit better guy here. I can't lay that kind of juice. I think Sean's right. It's going to be kind of scrambly. Both the neuter bike trying to get takedowns. I think it probably goes 15 though. So if you like a side here, I think you just playing by decision. TJ Brown's like around plus 140. The neuter bike is plus 300 or something. So I would probably look in that direction if you're going to play either one here. I don't know. I'll probably pick the neuter bike and Toutmaster, just a dog. I just think it's a really close fight, and TJ Brown shouldn't be minus 200. That's almost anybody.
Yeah, it's. I don't have a good read on it. TJ Brown is the better fighter in this one, but he'll do some stupid ass stuff during a fight, and I don't think you can trust him. If he just goes out there and wrestles offensively, I think he could probably get Nuerdanbieke down and submit him in the first round, because a lot of people have done that before. But do I trust him to go out there and do that? Absolutely not. I don't know what the Brown like sub props and stuff are. I don't think they're that great, because I think they probably know that sub is his best path to victory here.
Plus 385.
Yeah.
Makes it both.
Yeah.
You'd hope for a little bigger.
Maybe. Yeah, that might be the sort of thing that day of the fights I end up throwing into a round robin, but I favor Brown. I'll pick him. I'll probably have him in Toutmaster. But if I am watching this fight, the cheeks will be clenching for sure. Next up, light heavyweight division. Greatest division in all of the land. We've got Carlsberg taking on the Teflon Don Nchukwi. Sean, break this one down, and then Wes, break this one down, and I'm getting another beer.
So I'm not convinced that the Teflon Don is gonna just be able to get takedowns in this fight on a consistent basis. Like, I know he's taken some people down. If it's against the fence, I think that Ulberg is going to be able to fend fairly good. And when this is in open space, Ulberg is gonna fuck this guy up. Ulberg looked good last time. I know it was against an extremely flawed fighter. I mean, shit, he was getting takedowns. That's the level of competition that we're looking at. But I mean, it was good to see after him shooting his wad against Kenny Nunchucks. He still looked good early in that fight, but I think if he fights a smart fight, he can keep Nchukwi off of him and kind of piece him up on the feet. Nchukwi is pretty damn tough, so it's going to take some decent shots to get him out of there, but I do think that's possible. So I'm picking Ulberg. If he somehow gets to plus money, I'll throw a tiny bet on him. What do you got, Wes?
Yeah,
You going Teflon?
Yeah, I mean, probably for a pick. It's hard to get a side for money in this fight. I can see I think it's just going to be close, man. The two dudes are probably going to be standing. And Nchukwi's going to try to get some takedowns. He might get Ulberg up against the cage a little bit and them grind there. But yeah, in space, Ulberg's probably the better guy. I don't think he throws a ton though. This shit could be really close, man. I lean though, fucking the Teflon. I think if he does get a takedown or two, he's gonna steal some rounds. So, man, it's hard to. hard to play anything on this one. I'm going to pick the Teflon, but I got nothing as far as a bet right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like it's lined that tight for a
It
reason.
is, yeah.
I think it's a close fight.
Excellent
over-
job on buying time, Sean. I
over
appreciated
at
that.
plus money, I was eyeing. I think this could be a little boring at times, and could see.
That's a 2.5, obviously.
Yeah, 2.5. There's a plus 110, I believe, at dimes.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be slow, man. On the feet, this could be like a lot of staring and shit.
It is at the Apex, a little smaller cage. I don't know
Yeah,
if that'll help out
that's
the
true.
action, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like Teflon here. I think that Ulberg is going to face a guy where he can't just walk him down and throw whatever he wants. And he's looked awful when he can't do that. So I think that eventually Teflon's going to walk him down. He's going to get into the clinch. He might not be able to get the takedowns, but he's going to wear Ulberg
work
out.
that cage.
And he's just going to keep coming at him. And we almost got it last time against one of those fraud Russians, Murzakhanov.
He pissed that fight away.
Yeah,
that is wild.
That hurt.
I didn't have money on him. I just picked him,
did.
and man, he had that. And
I did. I had money on him in that one. That's hurt.
tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yep. And I think that this is maybe even a less dangerous version of that dude. He's bigger. He's prettier, certainly, than that ugly Russian.
That's a good-looking man. I don't care what you say.
Absolutely. But I don't know how he's going to deal with a dude being in his face. Even a dude as slow as Teflon is, I think it's going to be a struggle for Ulberg. So I do have a little bit of Teflon plus 105. I think he's still out there at even money, but I feel like that's kind of going to disappear. It's going to flip a little bit before we get to the fight. And Teflon by decision, plus 375. I've been betting this line basically since he came into the UFC. His inside props are ridiculous because he has muscles and he's black and people are racist, not me, which is why I bet him by decision and have made money on it occasionally, except when he blows it in the third round of a fight that he's winning 2-0. Not bitter at all. Zero. Yeah. Next up, middleweight division. We got Rodolfo Vieira, the jiu-jitsu killing Gracie black belt hunter, whatever his nickname is in jiu-jitsu. They all have stupid stuff. He's taking on Chris the Action Man Curtis. Excellent nickname. So, Sean, in terms of nicknames, this fight definitely goes to Chris Curtis, right?
Obviously, I just call Vieira the guy that got subbed by Fluffy. I mean, that seems to overrule whatever name he was given in jiu-jitsu. I mean, that's kind of the stamp on that one. Yeah, I've kind of wanted to fade Chris Curtis because he is better than people or the bookmakers think. He's just a veteran with good durability, good cardio, and they've been matching him up with some guys that he can take advantage of some flawed fighters, and this is another one. He's got to survive. He's got to survive one round, I believe, and then it's going to be smooth sailings. The size difference is going to be pretty wild in this fight. If Vieira does make weight, and it's going to be massive. What can he do with that? I don't know. Does a small cage help him to grab a hold of Curtis? Probably a little. I think if you're playing Vieira, you got to take him round one sub. Just bank on him getting him out of there in round one, because if he doesn't, I think he's going to get picked apart on the feet, and he might eventually get finished. I don't know if that's like a Chris Curtis round 3. I don't know if that has tickled Brad's fancy or something like that. I haven't seen what that number is.
2 and 3.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, we kind of called this in the Hawes fight anyway, and we're like, oh yeah, he's gonna take over. He's gonna fuck up Hawes in the second, finish him in round 3, and he didn't even wait that long.
Yeah.
Like,
when Hawes hits him with 90 unanswered punches, you know what I'm saying?
Elbows, not punches.
So,
different?
I'm gonna pick Curtis. I do very bad in betting small favorites, so I'm probably gonna stay away. Maybe I'll parlay him, even though he's a very small favorite.
What's it?
Yeah, I think Sean hit most of everything here. I'm Man, Chris Curtis is still Chris Curtis. I know he's had a couple decent UFC wins. I mean that was a really good win against Haas, of course. Brendan Allen's a decent one, but Sean hit on it. Like, these are like very, very like guys with very, very big flaws that Chris Curtis is the type of fighter that can take advantage of those flaws because he is durable. He has a chin, all the things that Sean said. The thing is they gave him another one, a dude that's got just a massive one. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a dude more tired than in that Fluffy fight, man. That was just wild to see. And I mean, I think we all think that Chris Curtis is even more durable than Fluffy Hernandez, and he survived all that shit. I'm still not convinced though that Vieira doesn't go out there and get a sub in the first round. Like, that's a very high possibility, high probability of that happening, in my opinion. So, I mean, like, Brad's onto something. He likes Curtis in this spot, I believe. And round 2 and round 3, whatever those numbers are, yeah, maybe Curtis does get him out there in the first like he did Haas, but you got to lead Vieira in the first round. Like, you just have to. I don't know, man. I'm going back and forth, dude. I seriously still haven't. I can't decide right now, man. It's hard. Curtis just has me baffled, man. He's
all fucked up.
He's the same guy that retired multiple times, came back. They, PFL talked him, world, whatever it was at that time, talked him into fighting again and shit. I don't know, man. He's looked good in his UFC run though. And I guess I'll pick Curtis for right now. But like I said, I would not be shocked if Vieira gets him. If you're betting Vieira, I think you, like Sean said, take round 1 sub or sub. However, round 1 sub is probably the spot. I'm going to pick Curtis.
So Rodolfo Vieira has 2 wins outside of the first round, I think, in his entire MMA career.
Yep.
One was against Oscar Pichode in his UFC debut. He got an arm triangle against that guy in the second round. And the other one was against Dustin Stoltzfus, who Lee was
elite win
about
right
to
there.
lose to. He was about to lose to, and managed he pulled the old meerkat on Stoltzfus, and managed to pull out a sub in round 3 in that one. I get that Chris Curtis has been kind of a journeyman, but he's one of those dudes, I don't know, kind of like Chitty, where he's a journeyman, but he's always been better than a journeyman for his entire career, and just for whatever reason, never made it to the UFC. I think if Vieira doesn't get him out here in round 1, he is fucking toast. Absolute toast. Curtis isn't the greatest wrestler, but he'll scramble. I think he'll be able to get back up to his feet. Round 1 could be very sketchy. He might have his back taken for a good portion of the round. We might see Vieira looking to lock in the rear naked choke. But if that doesn't happen, I mean, maybe this is a better spot to live bet than to bet pre-fight. Unfortunately for me, I have already bet it pre-fight. I got Curtis minus 145. It's lower than that pretty much everywhere now. Minus 130 for Curtis is tempting, but because I've already got a bet in, I'm just going to wait. And if it gets down even lower, I'm going to add more. This is a spot where I think that Chris Curtis has shown throughout a very long MMA career that he has good submission defense. We've seen a lot of times that these high-level BJJ guys can't just get anyone out of there. They can get low-level guys out of there, but I don't think Chris Curtis is a low-level guy. Yep. So I think Curtis round 2, round 3, probably great bets. This is another one where the books don't have a huge amount of props out on it right now, so I'm just on the money line. And I'm probably going to have way more money than I'm comfortable with on Chris Curtis in this fight. So I might end up coming back and hedging a bit of it with that Vieira round 1 sub, because I really think that's his only way to win this fight. If he doesn't, then Curtis is just going to be so much fresher in round 2 and round 3. And we've seen what happens to Vieira when that is the case, and it is not pretty.
Those round 2 and round 3 props are pretty low. I don't know if I've ever seen ones that low.
Ooh,
they know.
Well,
400 for round 2 and 600 for round 3. That is small.
That's like half. That's like half.
That's why I'm just on money line.
Right. They know. They know.
Hopefully the live software they're running doesn't like look at what Rodolfo's going to look like if he makes it out of that first round. Like,
it won't.
Just don't look
Luckily, it won't.
Don't look like you did against Fluffy and like they're ready to stretch your ass out of there after the first. Then might get a good live line.
Even against Fluffy, I got plus 1,400 the first time that he like fell off his back, and he was like, "Oh, this dude's dead."
That's good. Yeah, it could be a very nice live spot.
I'm not going to take the chance, though. Just going to take it pre-fight. I think that Curtis survives and gets it done. So we'll go with that, and we're invested. We'll say that.
And Chris Curtis. Chris fucking Curtis.
Yep. I think this is probably going to be the last time that you get... Actually, I don't know. I kind of felt like if he wins this fight, you're not going to get a good number on it, and you're going to want to fade him next time out, but you never know how these mooks are gonna move these lines, so hard to really come up with that.
The algorithm tells them, man, they do what
they just listen. Bantamweight division, Nate Maness against cousin Umar Nurmagomedov. This should be a good fight. I think there's some violence in store here, Sean.
I think so too. Aussie Fight Found, Curtis round 3 sub plus 5,000. Does that tickle your fancy a little more?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Done.
Our boy Aussie Fight Fan does find some good props.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah,
is that a Ned's? Is that a Ned's special?
That is a bet online.
That's a. Oh, I don't know if I want to bet it at Mason Book. He's just trying to take my Bitcoin. We all know this.
That's what he does. Yeah, I kind of went into this fight thinking I'd probably be betting Nurmagomedov by decision. When they opened the lines, it actually wasn't that big, and I was concerned that Nurmagomedov is going to get this guy out of there. Bunch of money is coming in on decision. It's put inside the distance in a pretty playable spot, in my opinion. He's not a boring Russian, in my opinion. He is an aggressive wrestler, and he goes for shit on the ground, and he is very good on the feet. So I think he's going to put in work. Maness has been in trouble in both of his last 2 fights. I think cousin Umar is going to get him out of there. I got him inside the distance at minus 135 for 2 units.
Yeah, I was kind of coming in this fight looking at the over myself. I do think cousin Umar is going to win this fight fairly easily. I just think the old man ass is pretty tough man ass for the most part. But Sean's absolutely right. Like they're hammering this decision so much to where you're looking at a guy that's minus 900, almost minus 1,000. He's gonna go for stuff. It's always can he catch Maness with something, and at that price on a minus 1,000, like you got to play that. I'm kind of I switched my kind of opinion to like maybe Maness does survive. He might. The price is just too good. At minus 135, you have to take cousin Umar inside the distance. He's gonna try to get that finish for your money. And like Sean said, this isn't a boring Russian. This guy's fun, man. So it should be violence. Hopefully he can get the Maness out of there.
I kind of agree with you guys, but I'm gonna be a little more cautious and take the shot on cousin Umar TKO plus 500. The only time that Maness, we've seen Maness get absolutely pummeled time after time, just
it's a tough one.
slammed.
It's a tough one.
The only time he's ever been finished was by TKO. So I think that he does have pretty good submission defense. It could be one of those cases where cousin Umar rocks him, gets a good position, goes for a sub, can't find it because Maness is good at preventing the real bad stuff. So he just has to end up pounding him out. I'll take plus 500 on a minus 1,000 against a guy who has only ever been finished at that plus 500 prop. So cousin Umar TKO. Wish I could say I was betting against a boring Russian, but as Sean said, not a boring Russian. A very good Russian. One of the best Russians currently out there, for my money at least. Lightweight division, we have Christos Giagos taking on Thiago Moisés. Good fight, kind of weird fight. Don't really know what to think about it, Sean.
Neither do I. I've faded Giago a lot of his fights in the UFC. He's not good, but he does have a skill set where he can take advantage if you have shitty takedown defense. He can get some top control. He's not going to do much with it. I think he might be able to get some takedowns on Moisés. I just don't think he's going to do much with them. And when they might stand it up, and then Moisés is going to have the advantage on the feet, even though he's not very good on the feet. But I think that's kind of how bad Giago is. And then I think Moisés can probably get takedowns himself, and he's got a much better top game. So I'm not going to bet it. I'm picking Moisés. He looked not a good look. Not losing to a terrible guy, but getting knocked out like that last time out against Alvarez, not the greatest. So maybe this is a get right fight for Moisés, but I'm gonna stay away. I'll pick Moisés though.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good look last time out, but Joe Alvarez is pretty good, and
Yep.
that was like him peaking at that point. Like that was an insane performance from him. I think this is two different levels of fighter. Personally, I don't think Giagos is very good, man. Moisés is a high level fighter. I think he's better everywhere here, in my opinion. Is Giagos going to get takedowns on Moisés? I know Moisés' takedown defense ain't the best, but I don't even know if he can do that. If he does, Moisés is active off of his back. He tries to get up. He'll go for subs, reverses. So I like Moisés here quite a bit, man. I'm not sure he gets a finish here. I think this is kind of just more of a one-sided 3-round decision, more than likely. But I like him as a parlay piece at minus 225, minus 230. I think that's kind of generous against this guy. I think it's, like Sean said, this is probably a get-right fight for a dude who I think is just a level above Giagos.
Yeah, I think this recent UFC stint has been very favorable to Giagos. It's made him look like a much better wrestler than he actually is. I mean, we saw this guy in his first UFC stint, and he was getting Chris Wade was out wrestling the shit out of him. He was not a good fighter. Didn't have great cardio. I think that all of those things are they kind of came to a head in his last fight where Tsarukyan just beat the shit out of him. But Tsarukyan never had to wrestle him in that fight. I think that when he starts to try to wrestle Moisés in this fight, I'm not even sure he's going to have success. I think that it's going to end up on the feet. He's going to get boxed up a little bit. And second round, third round, Moisés is probably going to find a sub on him. So I like Thiago Moisés quite a bit. I think that of a card of really closely lined fights, he's probably one of the better parlay pieces. I haven't bet him personally myself yet, but I think that might not be a bad angle. Moving on up to my division.
Main event.
Whew. Commissioner
Put
of
it
the
on.
T-shirt in the pool division. We got a big one. I'm not saying this is for title contention, but whoever wins this fight, he's definitely in the mix.
Parisian's in the mix of
He's
the
in the
top of
mix.
this division for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like a mix of oatmeal that he eats every day, just a lot of, but he's in some sort of mix. We got Josh Carbo Parisian taking on Alan Badout. Sean, what's going on here?
I don't know. Is it somebody at the UFC or is it ESPN that has this fixation with the T-shirt in the pool division? I don't know what it is. I'm not sure why. I don't know why this is the third last fight. These guys are combined 1-5 in their last 3 fights combined. Like, I don't know what kind of sway you have over at ESPN, Brad, but it's obviously showing. Both these guys are not good. I think Baudot is worse. I will pick Parisian, but this is going to be bad and gross and sloppy.
Wes, is it going to be bad and gross and sloppy, or is it going to be great and gross and sloppy?
Yeah, it's all of that. It's going to be all of that. Mix it up like some oatmeal. It's gonna be great.
It's all in the mix. Everything's in the mix.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Parisian ain't the best, man, but this Baudot fuck is just, he's horrible, man. Like, he is so bad. Like, I've seen some people like hyping this dude up against Parisian here, and I don't get, like, I'm not saying go bet Parisian. I'm going to, but it's not a great bet. But I mean, Parisian's just the less suckier fucking fat shitty dude in this fight. Yeah, I think Parisian's gonna be doing the grinding here. I think that's the kind of fight we're gonna see. It's what we love to see in this division. I was hoping to get a 1.5. They know better than to put a 1.5 on this fight. I still like the over 2.5 in this fight. And I'll probably take a little Parisian by decision. I think there's like a plus 300 out there. That's something I'm interested in as well. So I want to see some fat sloppy T-shirt in the pool shit going on, and I think we're probably going to get it.
I think that Alan Baudot's best win. I'm going to do a little Kevin Bacon here for you guys. All right, Alan Badout's best win is Nchukwi Inoue, who at the time that he beat him in 2015 was a 15-9-2 Japanese fighter. And that dude's best win was against Centauriu. Who?
What are we doing here?
Centauriu's real name is Henry Miller. He's a sumo wrestler from Hawaii.
Perfect.
So all of this is to say, and you need to go watch that dude's fights in Pride, because those were That
Fantastic stuff.
That was a spectacle, an absolute spectacle. That's mostly what I was trying to get to out of this fight, Sean. That is to say that Alan Baudot is terrible. He like Carbo Parisian is not good. He barely belongs in the UFC, but he's done enough in the regional scene to make it to the UFC. Alan Baudot, awful. His best win is that dude or a disqualification in a fight that he actually lost. He is very bad. I'll take some Carbo here. I'll take some Carbo decision. Wes, you said that's like plus 300.
Yeah, for me, y'all have some.
Yeah, that's what I'm on here. That's going to be in a round robin. That's how you get some t-shirt in the pool cred.
I think you got like you should have like a plus 330 or something up there in north of the border. So
I'll figure it out. We'll let the people know a little bit later. Co-main event. We're getting to the big stuff now. We got the old shaved cat. My breakout fighter of the year before it was Sean's breakout fighter of the year. So just saying. Taking on Magny Medov. Excellent co-main event in the welterweight division. Sean?
Very, very good. I do think Shaved Cat is an extremely good fighter. This is a pretty decent step up. Like, I know supposedly he just wanted to fight out his first contract and wanted to just annihilate some scabs until he got paid more. I respect it.
Don't blame him. Yep.
This is a decent step up. Magny is. I don't think Magny is the peak Magny. I do think he's on the decline, but he's still good enough to beat some medium level welterweights. I just don't think Shaved Cat is a medium level welterweight. I think he is extremely good. He's good everywhere. Magny is fairly good everywhere as well, but I just think the Shaved Cat is going to be just a little bit better and a lot better in some areas. I'm rolling the dice. It's a bit risky. Shaved Cat by decision is like plus 245. This dude has 0 decisions on his record. But Magny is tough. He's gritty. He kind of gets through some shit. I think this is going to get tested. At 245, I had to put some money on it. If Shaved Cat blows him out of the water, so be it. That would be extremely impressive to do against Magny. So I'll take that. I think this is going to be hopefully a wide decision.
Wesley.
Yeah, Magny's he's like the gatekeeper for the top
the barometer.
10. Yeah, for the top 10 of the 170-pound division, and I think that the old Shaved Cat's he's about to walk through that gate to the top 10. He's very, very good, man. He is one of the best prospects at 170. It's a great test, no doubt. Like Magny is, like Sean said, Magny's really, really fucking good, man. He's really good everywhere. He has been for a long time. He's taken out some guys, man. Like I think Magny's one of those guys over his career. Even now, we'll look back and like that dude performed well above his talent level and stuff. He got the most out of his talent. But in this spot, man, I just think he's running into a young fucking kid that's really fucking good. That's just better than him everywhere. I think Magny is tough. Is tough though, and is going to stay in there for most of this fight. But man, I just think once this gets into the second and third round, there's probably going to be damage from the Shaved Cat. Like Sean said, he doesn't have a decision on it. Like he goes for shit, he puts damage on you. I think he's probably going to get Magny out of there late. I parlayed money line with Moisés. I like that parlay a lot. It's I guess about my favorite parlay on the card. I think he gets a finish here though. I threw a little bit on sub. I think he's going to get Magny down. Magny does get down on his back a little bit in fights. I think the Shaved Cat's going to get down there and work, and and catch a sub, that was a really good price. Inside the distance is a little juiced at this point. If Sean gets his decision, so be it. I think it'll be a wide decision. I have a really big bet on that parlay, so I wouldn't mind that at all. I think Shavkat gets Magny out there and walks into the top 10, man, and it's just a hell of a prospect.
I'm not so confident as Wes in this one. I actually think that taking the over 1.5 in this one, parlayed with Moisés, is probably a pretty decent parlay, because I think that the Shavkat is excellent. We've been talking about him since he came into the UFC. I think that's fairly well established at this point. But it's Neil Magny here. This man makes every fight dirty. If it's not going the way he wants early on, he's going to clinch up with you. And the reason that Magny, I'm not betting him at plus 320, is because I think Shavkat's great in the clinch as well. I don't think that Magny's just going to be able to throw him against the cage and get body locks and all that sort of stuff. So I'd like the Shavkat to win. I just think that this is that huge step up for him. And, there often comes a time, and it's one of my favorite things to bet, when a guy faces a good fighter and suddenly everybody that he's finished on the regional scene, he can't finish once he gets to the UFC. So Shavkat by decision, plus 275. I'll take a little bit of that, and we'll move on to the main event, because we have a fight in the lightweight division, which Wes, you introduced this fight. You love this fight. I know you do.
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, introduce it. Who's
introduce it?
You love these guys.
Oh, Tsarukyan and Gamrot here. Oh, okay, yeah, it's great main event. I'm kind of surprised though that they're matching these dudes up kind of early, I guess, in their career.
Gamrot's not that. Well, I mean, he's not old, but he's a veteran.
I guess maybe giving Tsarukyan this dude kind of this early. I think it's a really, really tough fight for a great prospect that you got. Like, he's only 25 he's got a few big wins. Don't get me wrong. I guess the win over Alvarez, moves you up. That was a really good win, man. I just think when you're looking at this from betting it, you're getting plus 250 on a dude that's, man, this is a really close fight. Like, I don't think Tsarukyan's going to be able to get takedowns and work ground and pound easy in this fight whatsoever. This is probably going to be a lot on the feet, because both of them do have really good wrestling. I just think you got to lean Gamrot in a really close fight like this at plus 250. I think it's going to be a little slower than probably what people think. I think the wrestling kind of cancels out a little bit, and we see kind of a kickboxing match. And I'm going to take the plus 250 in a really close fight. If Tsarukyan gets past Gamrot, though, man, kid's got to be close, right? I mean, he's moving up really fast, so it'd be a huge win. I just think this might be a little bit too much too soon. I'll take a little shot on Gamrot at plus 250.
Sean?
Yeah, like I don't agree with what the number is, but I'm not really surprised that that's what the number is. Tsarukyan does have a bunch of hype, and I've been backing him to win inside the distance the last couple fights, and he's come through. He's a very skilled fighter. And I mean, if you look at Gamrot's wins, usually he's getting takedowns and kind of smashing dudes on the ground and grabbing some subs from there. I don't think people are expecting him to be able to take down Tsarukyan. Because I think the only person that has is mac and cheese. So I guess that's... but he hasn't really fought much for real grapplers since then. I think Gamrot will test that a bit. And when it's on the feet, and I also think Gamrot's going to be able to stuff some takedowns. Tsarukyan probably gets a couple, but I think Gamrot is skilled enough to get back on his feet fairly quickly. And then, like Wes said, on the feet, I think it's a close fight. And they're giving you, plus 240, plus 250. I took it at plus 225. I got 2 units on Gamrot. I think it might be a little bit too soon. I think it's going to be a close fight. And I think you got to take some plus 250 if it's going to be a fairly close fight.
I think we've seen this all this year and for a while now, that every favorite in every main event is overvalued. Tsarukyan is an excellent fighter.
Yep.
He's shown that so far in his career. He can put guys away. He can do everything. He's durable, but he has not fared well, he has fared well against guys who are either low volume or easy to put on their back. And I don't think that Gamrot is either of those things. Gamrot has been fighting 5-round fights for a decade now. This dude has been doing this shit for forever in front of huge crowds in KSW. He's kind of built for 5 rounds. His style is going to be very competitive early, and I think that Tsarukyan might even have the edge early. I just think that as this drags out into a 5-round fight, that you're going to see Gamrot have that experience, have a little bit more high-level competition, and be able to do more things, and Tsarukyan struggle when he can't get his game going. And we saw, obviously it was UFC debut, and it was against a very good fighter in Mac and Cheese. But we saw that he can be controlled, he can be shut down, and I think Gamrot can do some of that stuff later in fights, at least in this one. So I like Gamrot. I took some plus 225 like Sean. Didn't take quite as much, so I'm probably going to add some plus 250, and I do have some decision prop as well. That was mookily taken by yours truly at plus 505, and it's much higher now. So
yeah,
I suck.
Gamrot decision is, if you're going to play Gamrot, probably take some decision too at plus 550. That's nuts.
I think that's an excellent call. But we're just going to do Gamrot. Sean, what line are we doing? Plus 240?
Plus 240.
Plus 240.
Incredible fight, man.
Consensus bet of the week.
Yes.
Mateusz Gamrot. KSW is strong because Poods is strong.
He's still just obliterating guys.
Yes.
Still to this day. He just did it a few weeks ago.
If Consensus loses, blame Lance because he didn't show up and he would have vetoed this. So we're good either way. So don't blame us when it loses. Blame Lance.
Lance likes Tsarukyan in this fight. I'm sure he'll be parlaying.
We'll see. But that does it for us this week. Next week is pay-per-view.
Big one. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's
big pay-per-view.
It's good stuff.
We're not going to get into it too much right now, but that looks like a very enjoyable card.
Yeah.
So good for the UFC.
Yeah, I've been waiting for some Vogue Max again. I know a lot of people haven't, but I want to see their fight again personally.
We shit on them when they give us bad cards, so give them a bit of credit when they do a good card. Brutal Bob Lawler making his return, and an appropriate fight as well.
Yep.
I think of everything on that card, I'm most excited about that.
They're also giving Sean O'Malley Pedro Munoz too. That's just like there's some good stuff on there, man. Strickland against Pereira, and you're getting that kind of line and shit. It's
gonna be a very happy night or a very sad night, methinks.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that next week. We hope you enjoyed. Appreciate all of the activity in the chat tonight. And we'll be back for UFC 276 next Tuesday, Thursday. Who knows?